Bit about how this potential deportation policy could impact your own family. Has that kind of heightened your awareness and want to get involved with the advocacy issue?
I think that the heightened awareness and want to be engaged and involved, especially because I have a sibling who's in a current situation like this. We've been living in that fear I'm 42 now, so I've been living in that fear for probably 25 years. So this isn't something new. This is something that's been ongoing that has impacted not just my family, but a lot of Hmong Lao families throughout the country.
And you mentioned that there are 5 individuals in Marathon County that are concerned about this. Are those people that have come forward and asked for help, or people that you knew of previously?
So there is a nonprofit organization out of the city of Madison called Freedom Inc., and they have a representative who actually lives in Stevens Point. It's a county board member, Chai Moore. She and I have been having conversations about what's been happening at the federal level, the local level, the state level. And she shared with me that in Marathon County that there's 5 confirmed cases. There could possibly be more, but I think that people are afraid to come forward because they've heard, situations where they may try to go get naturalized and they may be detained during the process. So we want to inform and let families know, those that are impacted, that we respect their dignity. We don't want them to be afraid. We want them to feel like they can come forward. There's lots of organizations throughout the state of Wisconsin that can support them to help them navigate the immigration process and getting them the type of representation that they need.
So what you're saying is, in many of these cases, these people are trying to do the right thing, and it's going to backfire in their face just because of something that may not be relevant to their lives anymore.
Most of these individuals, based on what I have heard from advocates and those that are working directly with those that are impacted and involved, is that these are upstanding, community members in our communities. They committed, their crime at a young age. And they've, like I said earlier, they've been rehabilitated, they've paid their dues. These are people that are among you that are entrepreneurs. They may be educators. They may be just parents, or they may even be grandparents right now that are living among us. People who are very upstanding and who are working really hard to, live day by day, make ends meet. And I'm just, concerned and sad that they continue to live in fear and not know what's going to happen to them and their families tomorrow or next week.
So then with this declaration then, just kind of tell us what goes into it. Is this a letter that you're sending to Secretary of State Pompeo, and is Wausau the only community in Wisconsin that's going through this? Because I know you mentioned that this is on the radar statewide, kind of.
Yes, it is. It's statewide. It's countrywide. Going back to the declaration, I have written a letter on my behalf as an elder person representing the city of Wausau. I've sent a letter to Secretary of State Pompeo, including my opposition of not breaking apart families, and for them to disengage in the conversations with Laos on these opportunities to deport Lao and Hmong people in our community back to Laos. As far as other municipalities or other state elected officials, you have Madison, you have La Crosse, you have Appleton, and many more other cities that are following suit to either write letters to their legislators or writing letters to the Secretary of State to really get the word out there that we oppose these conversations or these talks that are being had with the current administration and other dignitaries in Laos.
So then, just to clarify, you've written a letter as an alder, and now today this is going to be a letter on the city's behalf. Is this a different letter, or?
So tonight is a resolution. The resolution really supports the background of the Hmong and Lao involvement in the secret war, being political refugees, being residents here in our communities, that these are individuals that we care about. We value the vitality of their lives and their children, and that we oppose any future conversations about deporting some of our community members back to Laos.
If a deportation, if it were to get to that point, what could or would the city do now with this resolution to try and step in and help?
I can't really say at the local level what we can do. I think that what we started to do is a great step forward, is really speaking together in unison together, and really standing up for the people in our community that we care about. So I think that's the first thing that we can do. I think that if deportation conversations continue well into the near future, I think things that we can do is educate ourselves by attending some of the immigration, deportation, town hall conversations that's happening with WIPs in town here, and other local nonprofit organizations that support those efforts.
You mentioned that the deportation, it kind of rises to a different level with some of the other conversations that have been going on in our country because this is a human rights issue. What more can you say about that? What more do you know about the situation?
Well, what I can share with you is that all the information that I've shared tonight about the final order, about opportunities that we have lifted in the state of Wisconsin to really help and support some of these individuals in navigating the legal system. To me, at the end of the day, we have to remember that Laos is not a home to some of these individuals. They can't speak the language. They didn't grow up there. They spent the last 40 plus years making the United States their home. We fled persecution. We fled the communists who were chasing after us because of our involvement with the United States in the secret war. So we don't want to go back to, we don't want to send individuals back to a geography where we're fleeing for our lives. And so I think that when we think about this situation, it is a human rights issue, because we want to make sure that their safety, of course, is a priority for us. And if they can't even thrive being deported back to Laos, which is not their homeland, what would happen to them? So it's very concerning.
I'm good if you're good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Great questions.
Thank you.
Yep.